Coming up in this week's episode of Next in Line.
Do you think me as a mother was wrong saying to you, when you said to me, I'm thinking about having implants, and I said, good idea.
Try and guess what do you think it is, YOLO.
Does it mean you and me together? I like to have someone to bounce off, usually Kathy.
Oh my God.
Kathy and I do courses together. But education I'm talking about. What are you talking about?
I asked about complications and they replied, don't manifest negativity. Should I bring crystals or just cancel?
Cancel, darling.
Simple.
Simple.
Welcome to Next in Line. I'm Sophie Cooper and I'm joined by my mum, Lesley Reynolds. On our podcast, we're talking everything beauty, aesthetics and running our clinic. This week, we are going to be talking all about surgery abroad. But first, what have you been up to?
Oh, I've had such a busy week. I always have busy. This is particularly busy this last week.
Cheers.
Cheers. I do love the champagne, thank you. Is this Borders?
What is it?
It is Borders, I can taste it, I know the difference. Anyway, before we start, Sophie, can I just say to everybody that our podcast is completely independent. We aren't sponsored by anybody. We're not paid to mention products or to talk about things we like and we don't like. So please, all we ask is if you think there's somebody that you know who would like this podcast or find it interesting, please share. Thank you.
So another busy week for you?
Another busy week for me. It culminated in the Winter Ball at One Whitehall on Saturday for a charity called The Wounded Child with Baroness Brattersby. So it was an incredible. I've never been to a ball like it. It was incredible.
What was it like?
And, I felt terribly underdressed and I was, quite overdressed for most people.
For you, that's
for me. I was,
that's hard.
I had velvet on and sequins and sparkles and everything. A tiara, you had to wear a tiara, which is lovely. I wore your wedding tiara actually.
I saw her, I was like, bloody cheek, she's got my tiara on.
First time it's been out for 9 years.
It's beautiful, isn't it, that tiara?
Beautiful tiara, yeah, very beautiful. And when I took it out and I was looking at it before I put it on, I realised the workmanship was incredible. Andrew Prince. I've recommended him to a few of our patients.
And the thing is about tiaras, you have to have them wrapped in the velvet.
Well,
to
that
match
was the
your
only
hair.
thing. Did you notice? Because
No.
you've got really dark brown hair, the base was wrapped in brown velvet, so I had to try and pull my hair around it a bit, but it was lovely.
You couldn't see, because I was looking at the picture you sent me, you couldn't see.
I think I could have made my hair bigger, but I was just trying to hide that. But it was lovely. So it was an incredible ball, and Baroness Brattlesby, she looked absolutely incredible. She had this wonderful winter ball gown on. Wow. So it was it looked like an ice queen really. It had a huge ball gown dress and an over jacket that was blue, looked like ice with sparkles on it. It was incredible.
Sounds like a fairy tale.
It was absolutely lovely, yeah. It was really, really lovely. And it's nice actually sometimes to get out and wear your tiara, isn't it? As you do.
That's
Cheers.
such a normal thing to say. It's nice to put your tiara on and go out.
I have actually got 3 tiaras.
You've got the one with, I think it's your tiara. And
they're all Andrew Prince,
and
actually.
the pearl jingle,
yes,
no?
Yes, I love that tiara. But when you walk, I thought it was a bit big and I didn't want to be overstated. Actually, I was so understated when I got there, I could have worn it. But when you walk, the drop pearls actually move slightly and sometimes you can hear them. So I thought, well, I'll just be understated, wear Sophie's star tiara. It's lovely, very lovely.
I love that tiara.
The food was lovely. And it was lovely to see lots of people that we know and to meet lots of lovely new people too. So what else happened that week? Well, Adam came to stay one evening, went out and went to our famous Pakistani restaurant, Zaina, in Newquebec Street. That was
lovely. They do the
best
lamb chops.
And the best lamb chops, yeah. That was lovely.
They're amazing.
And then we went down to the fish restaurant down the road in Newquebec Street and bought a rather delicious bottle of wine to take home with us.
Whenever I speak to you at the end of the day about 8:39, you're always, we're just stopping to get a bottle of wine.
Or just out in a restaurant. I've had a lot of lunches this week, a lot of ladies' lunches. I went to Langham's Brasserie for one lunch. That was lovely, really lovely. I still love it there.
I think you've actually taken my advice and you're not in the clinic so much.
I am trying. Well, I'm trying.
Well, you're still in there all the time, but not like 24/7. You actually.
Yes, I am actually. I am leaving the clinic a little bit more and going to more of the lunches and things that I'm invited to. So yes, Langham's Brasserie, absolutely fabulous. Always loved it. It was lovely. And then I also went to the Champagne Bar in Selfridges.
You're basically
Another lunch. No, that was an afternoon tea, actually.
Do you know what the funniest thing is, though, that all of these champagne bars, you go and they're like, hello, Leslie, hello, get free this, free that. I'm like, great, hi.
They do,
I love
they do offer
that.
me a glass of champagne. But you see, I've lived in that area in Marylebone for over 20 years, so I do know a lot of the places.
No, you know all the champagne bars.
I do know the champagne bars. Yeah,
So something awful happened to me this week.
did it?
I was getting ready at my dressing table and I looked into
Didn't
the
see a
bathroom.
spider, did you?
I saw Dan using my toothbrush.
Oh!
I was just like, I was furious. I was like, what are you doing?
I do
my
think
toothbrush.
sometimes married couples do share toothbrushes.
No,
I know
I'm
it's
sorry.
disgusting.
I know.
Out of bounds, yeah?
I know you kiss, but like, I don't
You
want
still kiss
I
after
don't want,
9 years of marriage?
I know,
Miracle.
amazing. I don't want anyone using my toothbrush.
I agree with you.
was
Particularly if
furious.
they're cleaning the
I was
drain
like-
pipe.
Do you remember the cleaner we had that used Dr. Khan's toothbrush?
Yes.
Clean the toilet.
Yeah, I said to her, there's black mould in the bathroom. Can you, between the tiles, can you make sure you clean it? I came and she said, I've cleaned all the tiles and it's all spot. I said, what did you clean it with? I didn't get anything. I said, show me what you cleaned it with. And she goes, this. I went, that's the doctor's toothbrush.
I'm really funny
That's
about my
actually worse
toothbrush.
than Dan using your toothbrush, isn't it?
No, but would you feel funny if someone used your toothbrush?
I don't like it. I don't like it. In fact,
It's
I can't
like
use it
very
again.
personal, isn't it? It's your mouth.
Very
Like,
personal. Well, this conversation could go really badly wrong, couldn't it?
anyway, I was
Should we
really
get on to
cross.
dental hygiene? Anyway, that was bad. Is that the
So
worst
that-
moment you had this week?
That's the worst moment I had. And the best
too bad,
moment,
then.
I had my little Freddy bear helping me put the star on top of the Christmas tree. So our Christmas tree, that is 12 foot, finally has a beautiful
Thank you,
star.
Mummy.
Yeah, thank you, Mummy. So it looks lovely.
And
Well, it looks lovely. That's the good and the bad of my week.
Billy, come and see a photo. It does look beautiful. Didn't Arabella help you?
She was playing Nintendo and chatting to her friends.
Was she? Goes so quickly, doesn't it? Start very early now, don't they?
So, shall we start talking about surgery abroad?
Well, that's a bit of a pet subject hate of mine, but yes, we can. Yes, because, do you know, it's very interesting because obviously I've been doing this for such a long time.
Yeah.
I've seen so many people and I can really see the appeal of doing surgery abroad. And I'm sure there are some excellent surgeons out there, but it's trying to find them, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I have seen so many disasters from people going abroad. So why would you want to go abroad? You want to go abroad because it's cheaper. Why wouldn't you want to go abroad? You wouldn't want to go abroad because you really need to stay there until you're healed.
That's the thing.
That's the thing,
I
isn't
think so. Last week we had someone come in. Obviously, you have loads of people come in for surgery, and it was a really upsetting.
I know the lady that had the butt lift abroad.
Yeah, there was a butt lift and a lipo, and they went to a different country.
Yeah.
We're not going to say what country. They went to abroad, and before they showed the before pictures, and they were like,
It
looking
wasn't
at the
too bad before, was it?
had lovely curves. It was great. And now she was hospitalised for a week. No, a month. A month. And the scarring from, she had an infection. She got an infection, which, surgery, you can get infections. But it was just devastating. And to correct it is so much more money, so much more
And
time.
it'll probably never be as good as it was before.
And we
anyway,
can't guarantee
if
that you're
doing
going to
fresh-
get...
No. So when she had this procedure, how long did she stay in the country that she went
I
to?
don't know. I don't know too much. I just know she's been abroad to have it. Obviously, it's devastated now because it's horrendous. When you see the scarring from...
I saw the photo, awful. So I have seen over my time a lot of people that have had surgery abroad, people that have had, had a facelift and got the scars down here instead of in their ears, people that have had eyes that one eye's much different shape to the other. I've seen people that have had, I saw one poor woman who had had a brow lift and they had cut her across the top of her head, pulled her forehead up up here, and she had to have a fringe from here. That's for the rest of her life, really.
I think the thing is with going abroad, a lot of these people don't even meet the surgeon until the day of the surgery. So here, that's not, you would never do that. No. You have like 1 or 2 consultations.
And you have a cooling off period. I think it's a huge risk, isn't it? I mean, for me, I look, when people come in to see me, I saw a girl once and literally her implant was poking out. She'd got a necrosis and her tissue was open, her implant was poking out. And then another girl, you could feel the implant, it was a really odd shape. One girl had one breast over here and one going like this. So
for people that don't know necrosis, what would you?
Dead tissue. The tissue was dying, her skin was dying. She'd be left with horrific scars.
Yeah.
And I think any kind of surgery, there are 2 things with surgery. You've got to think really hard and long before you have it. And you've got to realise that when you wake up after having surgery, or when you first look in the mirror, you'll think, oh my God, what should I do to myself?
Yeah.
Why did I do this? Because I went in hospital feeling well and I come out feeling dreadful and I'm tired and I'm worried. Yeah. Within a few days, usually you're looking, thinking, oh yes, actually it's going to be great. So I always say to people when they think about surgery, let's talk about the downside as well as the upside of it. How you're going to feel, how long it's going to take for recovery. Is it the right time in your life? This is a really important thing, actually. Is it the right time in your life to have surgery? You know, if you want to have breast implants or an uplift and you've got a young child, I would say under 5, then that child's going to keep wanting you to pick them up.
You said that because I wanted to get my implants.
I said,
and you
wait
said,
until they're older.
Don't do it. Thank God I didn't.
Wait until they're over it. No. Particularly, and this will sound sexist, people will say, oh, that's the wrong thing to say. But particularly with boys, because boys do, I've had 2 boys. They run and they jump at you and they're all over you and they're very loving, aren't they? And they want to have a cuddle. You know, Mummy's just had a breast done, don't come near me. You can't say that, can you? So I think there's a time for surgery that's right in your life. And we always start off with, you know, what do you want to achieve? How would you like to be? What's happening in your life? It's not great to have surgery if you're going through a great trauma. Why wouldn't? If you're going through any sort of trauma, don't have surgery.
Yeah.
Have it at the right time. Yeah. Talk to people. So, and I talk to people about the surgeries I've had and what it was like for me and how I felt and how long you should wait before you go back to work.
Yeah.
You know, you think, I mean, I had a surgery. I had an uplift. I went back to work after 4 days, which was totally ridiculous.
I know.
You know, but
that was major surgery, wasn't it?
Yeah,
that you had.
Yeah, it was. And so,
could you imagine having that surgery abroad and flying home?
No, and that's going abroad for surgery. That is one of the major things with that is that when you go and have surgery abroad, I believe you should stay there for at least 2 weeks.
At least.
And if you come back to the UK and you have a problem, A&E don't want to see you. They'll say, well, you had surgery abroad, you know, and you've had cosmetic surgery, ridiculous person.
It's a huge strain on them, isn't it, on the NHS?
Yeah. Private clinics don't want to take you on because they don't want to take on somebody else's issue and then still have an ongoing issue.
Yeah.
Also, people don't want to pay when they've had surgery abroad and they've got an infection or something's gone wrong. They don't want to pay any more. But why would a clinic here look after you?
Yeah, of course.
Because it's going to cost them time as well. And so you are very sympathetic when you see somebody who's had a treatment abroad, and I find I really feel for them. But then the doctor has got to, you know, be paid for what surgery he does.
Do you know, when I had it, so I was 21, I don't think it was a thing, was it, going abroad to have surgery?
Well, I certainly would never have let you go abroad anyway.
But was it a thing?
People were going abroad. They were going abroad.
I think it's much more of a thing now, but obviously when I had
it's price.
It is price, but you're not buying a handbag.
No.
This is something that's like
Very
really...
good point, actually.
It's going to be with you forever, isn't it? And it's something you've got to maintain, like implants. When I had mine, I was a bit naive because I never had it. I had drains put in. So they insert tubes. It was into my armpit.
Except any fluid that's collecting in the breast.
So the drains are for any fluids that's collected. And they're like little pots, plastic pots that drain excess, I suppose, that you don't need.
Yeah, that's in your body. Well, it's fluid that accumulates around the area.
And then, so they're inserted quite far. Anyway, I'm laying there, you know, dosed up on drugs, feeling okay, big bandages on. And the nurse comes and says, I'm going to take them out. And I was like, no, I don't want you to take them out. And Arma comes in.
Of?
I don't know. It was just a bit of a funny experience because no one explained to me what a drain was. Like, if you don't know. So they didn't tell me what the drains were, and they're like, I'm going to take your drains out and then you're ready to, we'll discharge you. I was thinking, oh my God, what are these drains? Like, I didn't even see them. And one of my friends came and said, oh my God, those drains freaked me out seeing you like that. Fifi, sorry. And then Arm was like, hold my hand. It's a tube. And he explained it all. But having him there was so lucky because I would have been really freaking out. They pull this tube out. It's about that far in.
Yeah, yeah.
It didn't hurt. It did hurt. It was uncomfortable because it's...
I think it does hurt. I mean, I had.
Did you have drains?
When I had my uplift, I had an uplift and I had drains and I was terrified of them coming out. I was really frightened.
Yeah, because you don't know what it is, do you, really?
And changing the dressings and things like that.
So I think I got in the taxi, came home, and Grandma was at home in her chair and I was sat down. But even the movement of getting up, because you're using your muscles, aren't you, was so painful.
And somebody needs to explain that to you when you're having surgery.
So if I was in Turkey or another country, anywhere abroad, how would they have explained, I'm going to take your drains out, I'm going to discharge you?
Do you know, it's really interesting because a lot of people I speak to that have had surgery abroad say that the communication was really difficult. And, I'm sure there are places that they can communicate with you better and have English-speaking staff. But a lot of people have said that and that they didn't get enough communication. And after, when they came home, they didn't get the communication they wanted. And if they had a problem or had a query, nobody ever got back to them.
That's the thing. They say a lot of people, they give you a WhatsApp number and if something goes wrong, you're just on the WhatsApp number, no one's replying and you're in England, there, wherever they are.
It's I think with anything to do with your health, with surgery, health, anything, if you're having a treatment abroad, how are you going to keep the communication up and how are you going to recover? Because it takes most people 6 weeks to recover from something. Yeah. And my advice to people who say to me, I'm going to go and get this, this and this. And even friends who say, I know you won't agree with this, but I'm going to go abroad and I'm going to have my face down my boobs and arm lift at the same time, whatever. I say, well, stay there for 6 weeks. Stay there for 6 weeks, close to your doctor. Make sure that your doctor speaks English and you can understand him, he understands you. And that's why, for us, we see a lot of Chinese patients, but we have a Chinese interpreter to make sure they understand what they're signing for.
Yeah.
And that's another very, very big issue.
I think there's different laws, aren't there? There's different standards that they have to,
for me, I'd love to pay, half price or quarter price or something, have it done. But actually my health is more important to me. And I'd rather wait longer.
What happens if you're out in another country and you have an emergency? Do you have the NHS out there?
No.
Like, what happens? What do you?
You'd have to go into a hospital locally and you'd have to pay for it.
Because I think when people decide to have surgery, they never think anything's going to go wrong. Obviously, you're not going to think.
Well, you don't want to, but there's always a chance. Even in the UK, there's a chance.
That's what I mean. There's always a chance. You have to really think long and hard.
A lot of patients say to me, so I'm going to do this, and can you guarantee this will happen? And that I say, no, we can't guarantee anything because your body may react completely differently.
Yeah.
And it's where your body responds. And so when people say this, this isn't what I want it to look like, we actually really can't help that with lots of things because it's the way somebody's skin reacts or their body reacts,
Or how you look after
scarring
when you leave.
Yeah.
So I think if you're getting on a plane and you've got open wounds and infection risk is so much higher, isn't it?
Well, it's like you go on a plane, you get a virus that's been going around inside the air.
Yeah.
Why would you do that when you've just had major surgery?
I can see probably going out for your teeth or your hair. I still wouldn't do it, but I can see how getting on a plane probably isn't as going to be uncomfortable.
Hair, you've still got a high risk of infection.
Of course, but it's not as, I can't imagine having a BBL in a different country and trying to get on a flight for 6 or 7 hours.
I have seen some incredible teeth come back from...
I've seen great teeth.
I've seen some fantastic ones. I've been tempted myself. And then, but on the other hand, I've seen some like horse teeth come back. So obviously it depends on where even in the UK, doesn't it? It depends on where you go and who you see and somebody that's very, very experienced. But most importantly, it's about making sure that the person you're speaking to and the surgeon you're speaking to understands what you're trying to achieve.
Yeah.
So I saw somebody last week and she was saying to me that what she wanted and about her nose, it was a rhinoplasty. She wanted her nose done. She'd had a nose 15 years ago and still didn't like it. And she was saying, it's this bit. So she gets going, it's this bit. I was like, okay, what's wrong with that bit? I want it's smaller, but I don't want surgery. So what, you want it smaller? You want it taken down? No, I just want it made smaller. Okay, how do you want it made smaller? And it's here. So you want it narrower and shorter? Yes, without surgery. Well, sometimes that's just not possible.
It's expectations.
It's expectations.
Your goals.
Expectations are very, very important. And I kept asking the same question. She was getting irritated. I've told you, I said, but I don't understand because you're telling me one thing and saying something else.
Yeah.
You're
Something that's
saying-
not possible.
You're saying, I like this. I don't like that. I want my mother's nose. I want to do this. So expectation and explaining what you want are really difficult. That's why I like people morphing. I like, morphing the features.
Especially with noses.
Oh, nose is the hardest thing, I think.
It's such a huge thing that can change your whole face, isn't it?
We're just going back to people having surgery abroad. I did see somebody recently who had it, and she literally had one breast that was out here and one breast going forward. I mean, she was very, very upset, young girl, very, very upset about them, and I could absolutely see it straight away. And I said to her, well, did you tell them? Did you see it before you left? Oh, they won't do anything about it.
So I think they do high volumes of surgeries in a day in different countries.
Do they?
Yeah. They do anywhere up to 20 surgeries a day.
Oh, my God.
I don't see how
With
that's
the same
possible.
surgeon?
How is that possible?
I don't know. I mean, I would have thought 2 or 3 was max.
Yeah, you would do 3, wouldn't you, maximum here. But
I mean, I love Mr. Combo.
yeah.
He did a fantastic job with you, didn't he?
Mr. Combo, I think he's just amazing.
I do too. But how many surgeries does he do a day?
So
2?
he will do 2, maximum 3, depending on what surgeries they are.
He wouldn't do 3 facelifts in a day, though,
No,
would he? Absolutely not, no.
He would do probably 2 kind of biggish ones and then a small. Normally 2, though, he does a day, 2 a day.
And maybe a blepharoplasty and upper blepharoplasty.
But I think you have to have a relationship with your surgeon and not in a...
But not in a weird way. Now, you have to have a relationship with your surgeon in as much as you feel free to ask questions.
Yeah.
So this is another thing that repeatedly over the years people have said, I didn't like to ask him this or I didn't like to ask that. If you feel you can't ask your surgeon or your doctor a question, then they're not right for you.
I always say to people when they come in and they have a consultation, I always say, you're going to go away and you're going to think of loads of questions, write them all down, send us an email, come back, have another consultation, ask them, because it's a lot when you're sat in front of a surgeon.
Well, I say put it on your phone, get your notes up and write it on your phone. So every time you think of something, add it to the list.
Exactly.
Absolutely, I agree with you.
So we can have some viewer questions. Mum?
Right. Would you risk it? The truth about surgery abroad.
That's your first card. You haven't read your cards.
Okay.
You just didn't read your cards. I was like, come on.
Facts? Are we on facts?
No, don't.
I haven't got my glasses on, have I? Are virtual consultations abroad reliable enough, or should I insist on an in-person assessment before booking flights?
Oh, definitely always have an in-person assessment. You need their surgeon or practitioner needs to see you before they touch you. You need to
Absolutely.
Ask questions.
Yeah.
You get a feeling as well when you go somewhere, don't you?
Yes, I think also you need to have some kind of rapport, be able to speak to the person. I mean, we do a lot of consultations virtually, but we always say before you can have a procedure, you have to come and see the surgeon.
Yeah.
How risky is it, really, to travel home just days after surgery? Everyone online claims they flew home the next day with no issues. Oh, come on.
Oh, come on. Yeah, I think it depends what you've had. If you're having your teeth done, it's a different story. But if you've had a BBL, lipo, and it's going to be sore, painful, facelift,
Swelling by day 3 is
swelling, you get swelling naturally on an aeroplane, don't you?
Yeah, you do actually.
Without having surgery. So just be really careful and take your doctor's advice.
Stay 2 weeks.
At least.
If something goes wrong at home after having work done overseas, is the NHS obliged to fix it?
I don't know if they're obliged to fix it. Probably. But I mean, it puts a huge strain. It's already got a huge strain,
I think
hasn't
that's
it?
the biggest thing, is that the NHS, people say I went to A&E and they were really irritated with me because I had this procedure abroad. It was unnecessary. It was cosmetic. They were really, really busy and made me wait for 6 hours. So I think
they would help you because they have to, don't they?
Well, I think they would definitely help you, but I think the thing with it is they probably make you feel a bit bad because, like, A, you're having cosmetic surgery, B, you've had it abroad, and now you're wanting us to fix it. So I see how they feel. What's the worst surgery abroad, the horror story you have ever seen in the clinic? Is that my question?
I think
For you,
we've just seen really awful BBLs.
Yeah.
And it's such a risky procedure.
But when you say
isn't
you've
it?
seen a really awful BBL, can you describe why it was awful? Was it because she was flat? Was it because she was scarred?
It's the scar. I think it's infections where then you have to drain, but they have to put drains in to drain the infection and everything out. You get left with horrific scarring. And it's
When you
so
say
sad.
horrific scarring, describe the scarring.
So imagine like a buttocks with massive indentation slashes across it. Can you?
Yeah,
I
I've seen
think
it myself.
you can't
yeah.
imagine it because until you see it, you're like, that can't be.
I have actually seen people that have had exactly the same sort of scarring from having inoculations. And when I saw that, I said, "Is that from inoculations when she was a child?"
I've got that on my thigh.
Have you?
I always thought it was cellulite. And it's a huge dimple.
So you could have it. You could have
Subcision, yeah.
and that would do it. Yeah.
But it's much worse. It's just awful scarring. Even
Can
on
we see it?
No, I'm not getting But yeah, even on the body, it's the same
the
thing. It's the scarring.
Yeah, but on the buttocks, those scars, they were sort of that length, indented into the buttock. It was horrific. Worst scarring I've ever seen, or the worst procedure or results of a procedure I've ever seen was a girl with breasts, and she was crying and I couldn't help her. And literally an implant was almost sticking out of her skin. And it was just awful. You could see the edge of the implant, and I don't know what the implant was. It looked like
I don't
cellophane.
know what implants they're putting
It looked
in.
like cellophane. It was just horrific.
Especially if you go abroad, you meet the surgeon on the day.
Yeah.
You don't know what you're having put inside.
Beautiful
your
young
body.
girl. She was about 19. Also, I think 18, 19 is too young to have. I think she'd be over 21. Would you risk surgery, Sophie? Would you risk surgery in a country where you don't speak the language?
No.
No.
I'm a little bit nervous anyway. So for me, it's a no. I couldn't do it.
All right, nervous Neris. I couldn't do it either because I really would want to know what drugs I was being given. I'd want to know exactly what they were going to do, where the incisions were going to be, what the aftercare was going to be like.
And knowing you can just pop in and see your surgeon if you needed to, if you had an emergency.
Or even if the surgeon isn't always available, that you've got a whole medical team there that you could pop in and see, that you've got other doctors that would be able to see you.
Yeah, of course.
Which is something that we provide, and I think that's really important. And a 24-hour answering service where you can speak to a doctor. That's really important.
We do that with all our patients, don't we?
We do, definitely, yeah.
I found a clinic abroad offering a facelift for half the UK price. How do I tell if it's genuinely safe or just clever marketing?
Well, I would always question anything that was half price because I think, okay, Black Friday is fine. Everybody has to do it. You have to do it, but not for a facelift. But anything that's really, really reduced, and I think, well, they must be a bit desperate for business, and because you wouldn't do half price surgery ever. The surgeon
can't, can
it's
you?
the surgeon's price. It's the anaesthetist's price. The hospital cost. So, if you've got somebody that is, giving you a half price deal, just question why. It must be because they're not busy or they're trying to get more business in. I don't know. I'd always question half price surgery. Surgery definitely is something you do not want to buy in bargain basement.
I had liposuction abroad 3 weeks ago. The clinic isn't replying anymore, and I think I'm developing a seronoma. What do I do now?
Well, you need some help because if you are, it's a collection of fluid under the skin and it needs to be drained.
It's quite common, isn't it, after
It's
surgery?
common, but if you leave it, it would be, a serious issue. So you need to go find somebody who will drain it for you. I'm sure the NHS would, but I don't want to advise that because it's just not fair, is it?
Is it fair for UK surgeons to be so critical of overseas surgery, or is some of it just competition?
I think surgeons in general are quite critical of each other, I've found over the years. I am critical about aftercare. And as I said earlier, there will be good and bad surgeons everywhere. You know, there's some great surgeons in the UK and there's some terrible surgeons. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
You know, and it's the same abroad. The only difference, I think, is when you're going abroad is you don't know the surgeon. You don't know their reputation particularly, even though you can see bits and pieces about them. It's the aftercare also that's very important. And another thing that people don't ask enough, I feel, is where are the scars going to be? Because as I said, I've seen people doing a facelift in the UK where the scar's right in front of the ear. It should be here, right there, so you can't see it.
Yeah.
And scarring is a huge thing, and scars don't go away. Once you've got a scar, you've got a scar. That's what I say to people with breast surgery. Oh, if I have an uplift, will I have scarring? Yes, you will, but it'll go, won't it? And I say, it'll fade, but it will always be there. So you won't necessarily see it so much in years to come, but a scar is a scar. Scars never go.
Okay, so my cousin says we should YOLO into surgery abroad together.
We should what? YOLO? What's YOLO? Is this a new phrase?
Oh, it's a really old phrase.
Is it YOLO?
Try and guess what do you think it is, YOLO.
Does it mean you and me together?
Where did you get together from? YOLO. You only love once. Awkward. You only live once.
Oh, you only live once.
Do you think you should YOLO?
I don't know if you only live once.
I might say that to you now. Now you know what it means.
You only live once. Should we get surgery together? I suppose it's nice to have a surgery buddy. It's nice to have I always think it's nice to have called a study buddy. Somebody who's doing a course.
Oh, do you?
If you're doing a course, I like to have someone to bounce off, usually Kathy.
Oh my God.
Kathy and I do courses together. But education I'm talking about. What are you talking about? Well, no. I actually think if you're having surgery and you've got a really good friend, have your surgery, get your friends to look after you. You get well, they have their surgery, you look after them.
Abroad?
Oh, I just wouldn't go abroad.
I asked about complications and they replied, don't manifest negativity. Should I bring crystals or just cancel?
Cancel, darling.
Simple.
Simple.
'30s versus '70s.
Oh, yes, I love this.
So what would worry you in your 70s?
About having surgery?
Yeah, abroad.
Well, in my 70s, I mean, surgery worries me anyway, because I think, I don't want to actually die if I'm having a general anaesthetic. And what would you say to the grandchildren? Yes, Granny died having a facelift, darling.
But I will. You said that more than once. I'm worried.
But I will have some surgery, but I'll have it with Peter Cumber because I really trust him.
And have it under local.
I don't know if I can have it under local. I'd have it under sedation.
Yes, that's what I mean. Sedation.
Definitely would not go abroad, unless I was...
Why wouldn't you go abroad in your 70s?
Actually, I'd maybe go abroad if I was going to LA to a surgeon that I knew. But I mean, it's about £125,000 out there to have a facelift now, Did you know that?
So you would go abroad
The low price for a facelift in the States, I was talking to a friend of mine out there recently, and she said a low price is $80,000. $125,000 normal. A lot of surgeons out there, 180, 170, 250. I would go to somewhere where it was English. I would go to the States. I would go to LA.
But and
New York, because I know
them.
people there.
Yeah.
And there are a couple of surgeons I would go to. But I don't really think it's necessary because I know I've got a very good surgeon here. So I've got a very good surgeon here. I think will do a fantastic job for me. And I'd absolutely... I'm not going to go abroad. I'm going to have him. But I'm going to have it done. What about you then? What about you, young lady? Would you go abroad for surgery?
I wouldn't. I'm too nervous. And I couldn't imagine getting on a plane after having breast surgery. Any surgery. I just would feel uncomfortable. I want to be at home. Yeah. I want to go home, have a cry if I want to have a cry after surgery. As you do.
Why'd you have a cry after surgery?
You do have a cry. It's the anaesthetic, isn't
you?
it? Did you not? Of course you
No.
didn't. I had a cry. I was just silent crying at home on my own.
Was Grandma with you?
Yeah.
What did she say? Pull yourself together.
It's all right, dear. You'll be all right in a few days. I was like,
Did
okay,
you?
yeah. I had greasy hair. That's what really made me upset.
Right, okay.
Anyway,
What happened to your hair?
it got greasy and I couldn't wash it because it was painful.
I'd have washed it for you.
And Dan and I had only just started going out and he came to visit me and I was like, hi. Tears rolling down.
Did you tell Dan you were having breast implants? How long had you been going out with Dan?
So
when you
I'd
had your
been
breast
going out with
surgery?
Dan for not even a year. No, not even a year. Probably like
Weeks.
weeks. Anyway, we were in a restaurant in Shoreditch. I was trying to be trendy in Shoreditch, which I'm
It's
not.
quite trendy Shoreditch,
Yeah,
isn't
but I'm
it?
not that kind of trendy anyway.
I don't go that far.
Stay Marylebone at the champagne bars. And we were out in this pizza place and he was like, oh, like next weekend there's this event on. Do you want to come? And I was like, oh, I can't that weekend. I'm in hospital. And he was like, oh my God. I remember his face being panicked and I was like, he was like, what's wrong? I was like, oh, I've just got to have surgery.
Did you tell him what surgery?
He was like, what surgery? I was like, oh, I'm just having some breast surgery.
And he went, oh, great.
No, he thought I was dying or something. He was like, oh my God. I was like, I'm having implants. He was like, ka-ching.
Data girl from a cosmetic clinic.
And then, yeah, after that, then he was so sweet. He was really nice and I was a bit awkward
I
about
remember
it.
him always going home early.
Going
Is
home
that boy
early?
here? And you say, no, he has to leave about 10:15. And I remember one
10:15?
bumping into him and he said, oh, I'm going home now. I've got an early morning tomorrow. Seems like a nice
Yes,
boy.
because I was like 25. No, I wasn't. I was not 21.
You were 21, weren't you?
And then,
Do you think that me, I'm just going off piste here, but do you think me as a mother was wrong saying to you, when you said to me, I'm thinking about having implants, and I said, good idea, give you the right shape for your body. And, yeah.
no, because I think you made me think about it. You were like, okay, why? Like I said it to you just casually, testing the water. And then you were like, okay, let's talk about it. Why do you
What
want
did you
it?
expect me to say?
No. And then I'd have been like, well, I'm having it.
And what did I say?
He said, okay, I can understand why. It's like, isn't it? I suppose if your daughter had a nose that she was really unhappy with, because I have very big hips and then
You
not,
had childbearing hips. There's nothing wrong with your hips.
well, now they're all the rage, but
Yeah.
no, but it's just proportions, isn't it?
It's
and if you're
proportions,
unhappy,
yeah.
you can do something about it.
You see, for me, I think if you can do something safely and it gives you more confidence.
It's
then I
better than
can't
me
see
trying
that-
to go on my own and have a
Oh, yeah.
breast implant,
Yeah.
another
Yeah, no.
behind your back,
Yeah.
abroad or something, isn't it?
That'd be horrific,
Always
wouldn't
talk about
I'd be
it.
so upset. Listen, guys, I've got to say to you that I'm in a bit of a rush today
Oh, thanks.
because it's my birthday
Tomorrow.
tomorrow. It's my birthday tomorrow, but tonight I'm going out with my girly friends. We go 4 times a year to the ballet, and tonight they're taking me to see the Nutcracker.
Legless.
Huh? Legless. How very
I'm going to
dare
go and buy a
you.
new toothbrush.
Are you going to buy it? Oh, I would. Did you clean your teeth after that?
Obviously, but I've got loads of
keep
spare.
Clinisept.
Yeah.
You see, I keep Clinisept.
You
As
steal
long as I
all the
clean-
Clinisept?
Yeah, I steal all the Clinisept. I keep it on my bathroom side, and actually, I'd actually put Clinisept on my toothbrush after I clean my teeth, and then I leave it there for 30 seconds, and then I put it into its little container. And I also do it to Dr. Khan's toothbrush because you never
do
know
you
what's
guys
happened to a
do?
toothbrush, do you? I put mine also. I keep my toothbrush in my travel bag, and I don't let anybody get near it. I've always worried about it. Have you heard about the dreadful things people do with toothbrushes?
I know.
They clean inside toilets with them if they don't like you, all sorts of things.
Right. Thank you. See you next week.